Hey y'all, this is TCA Gaming, and in this video I'm going to show you guys some stuff that I got from Gary. Now I'm not going to show you everything. This is going to be one of probably a few videos that I show. At least one more should be beyond this, but I want to show you guys some of the binders, give you some examples of cards that he had just sitting in boxes, and then yeah, some loose cards. I even got a few off of Twan as well. All right, so here we've got, I'm just kind of run through some of the stuff. The binders I'll probably show at the end since they're a little bit bigger. But yeah, we have first edition French Pikachus, CGC 10. He had several of these just sitting in a pile, had one pristine 10. Now he did have lower grade ones as well, but those are in another box that for whatever reason, this one particular box did not arrive with the rest. I had 8 boxes sent out initially. 7 of them arrived, but then one shows that it never left the UPS shop from that Thursday, which I'm a little concerned with. But thankfully, the items that were in that box were ones that I paid for. It included graded cards like that. It had a lot of the long, like white boxes, like 1,000 count boxes. 500, 1,000, stuff like that. Had a lot of the non-holographic commons, uncommons. I'm hoping to get that box in because it had like Japanese cards, had EX Team Rocket returns, but it was all like pack fresh non-holos. I went through all those already because that's what I've determined I have not received yet. So once those come in, it would be nice to get those, but I also think that there might have been a few binders, including a Team Rocket Returns binder, which did have more than just the commons. It had like the holos, reverse holos, and stuff like that. All right, next up we have this is not a Tropica Mega Battle 10. This is a mislabel. So, I mean, you're going from a very, very expensive card down to still an expensive card, but you can see it's glossy. So this is actually the Koro Koro magazine version. So this right here, if you look at it online and somebody didn't show you the gloss, where you didn't realize that if you zoom in way far on this little tie, it's supposed to run slightly below the white coat, in which this one is cut pretty straight across. So that tells you that this is just the magazine version, not the Tropica Mega Battle. So huge mistake there on PSA's part. If it did sell and somebody, they would be overpaying if they didn't realize how to tell. Got these off Twan. Got a couple Sun and Moon packs. Got this Poncho Eevee. This is signed on the case itself, not on the card. These I got from Gary. He actually had framed, but unfortunately I couldn't bring the frame with me. But we have a starter gift set Scyther. Got the Zapdos and the Articuno. Really cool cards. Those are unique artworks that were around back in the day. Which, actually, this Scyther we got in on the WotC promo side, but we did not get it as a holo. Also had these. Have a full set of Southern Islands. This is Japanese. You can see these are all sealed. May keep them sealed. I don't know. Maybe we'll open them up and try to see if we can get some graded cards out of there. I don't know if that's going to be worth it. Got these off Twan as well. Got an Eevee, a couple Espeon and Deoxys GX. These were not 25 each. These were more than that. You had the Evolution packs and Sun and Moon Burning Shadows, but these were I think they'd been sitting a while. Maybe those prices were what she was asking at one point. Here we have a Neo deck. Got the intro, or it'd been nice if it was the intro, but yeah, this is from it's like the Neo Genesis equivalent. I'll show the binders last, the big ones anyways. We do have one smaller binder. Now this was cool. This is one of the first things that I bought from Gary. Check it out. We have it's not all shadowless, but a lot of the cards are shadowless. And these aren't like beautiful condition or anything like that, but some of them are pretty nice. So like if you look at this Charizard, overall it's pretty clean, but you can see it does have some scratching here and there. Does have some moderate wear around the... Alright, sorry, had somebody knock on the door just to make sure that everything was okay. But yeah, you can see it's got some damage to it, but overall still very presentable. I may end up just making a binder set out of a lot of the cards that are in here. Or, I may end up trying to grade some of them. I don't know. I'll have to go through and look at the condition a little bit better. I did check the non-hollows for certain errors, like the B-drill error with the defending and stuff like that. But you can see there's only a few shadowless cards past the hollows. And then it's not just the base set. We also have first edition jungle. And not every hollow is first edition. I think all but maybe 2 or 3. So Mr. Mime. We'll see Victory Bell maybe. We'll look at the Snorlax. Yeah, Victory Bell, and then there's the Wigglytuff. But Snorlax is pretty cool. I actually paid over what it was showing on this for the price because I thought the condition was fairly nice. It does have some scratches there in the hollow, but still pretty clean, pretty decent. It looks like it still has some of the stuff from the pack on it, like that little pieces of cardboard. But yeah, so went through, had some first edition jungle. It was a base. It was like a mixed shadowless unlimited set. It's just really cool stuff to see. And if he was willing to sell at a price that, he got a good price for it, but I was still able to make a little bit, at least I think, on the back end. Now let's go into some of these binders. These binders I have already priced out. I don't know if I can zoom out anymore. We'll do the best we can with what we got here. So I thought this binder was kind of cool. It has Digimon, which I realize Digimon isn't Pokemon, but I wanted to show it to you guys anyways. Maybe if I take away my face. There we go. You'll be able to see a little bit more of the binder. But yeah, here's some Japanese Digimon. Not something that I really have much experience with. I have seen them, but what I connected with for the most part was here we go. We'll get to the English stuff. The English Digimon. And I remember when Digimon come out, it was so hot for like a couple of months. And then it was just gone. It was kind of like Duel Masters. This was a little bit longer than Duel Masters. Agumon, he was kind of like your Charmander. They went into the Greymon. And then you had, I think it was War Greymon. But yeah, some of these might have been theme deck or starter deck cards. Because almost everyone had the same ones in the beginning. There's the War, no, that's the Garurumon. I don't think that's one, but it shows you what it can, like evolve from. Or digitize, like Digivolve. Everybody knew it was a play on Pokemon with the Digimon, but either way, it was still pretty cool. Then you had these cards. These were kind of like the equivalent of Topps cards on the Pokemon side. Nobody wanted these things. But at the same time, you had them. It was an option. They weren't your rounded corner cards. These were your squared off corner cards. I guess this would be like your chromes or whatever you might call it. Oh, there's that guy. Metal Greymon. That's what I meant. Metal Greymon. There's a Metal Greymon there. The ultimate level. The mega levels were the ones that were like super up there. And then you also had some of these that had like the gold letterings. Marine Angimon, Boltmon, Piedmon. The show was pretty cool. I mean, it wasn't like something that went on forever and ever, but enough of a nostalgic kick that I loved picking up that binder. Now, let's see what else we got here. I am going to show you some other cards, but check it out. He had some tops. So there were 2 tops binders. This was the one that was not as expensive, but it had, most of the original like movie tops cards, but also had stuff like this, which was really nice because these do have some value. And then you had the holofoil ones. Few cards missing in here, few extras like duplicates. But what I liked about these is that they're already out of the pack, so you don't have to worry about any additional cracking. See, it's got these right here, the E cards. There's 12. Then you had some die cuts. The die cuts are pretty tough to grade. They're basically near impossible. Then you had some of the stickers. Again, same thing with those. You got the Burger King set, and then he also had, so that was the uncut set, and then you have These are the ones that have already been perforated and pulled out. I haven't tried grading these. I haven't tried on these in a long time. The last time I was going for trying to grade some of these cards was when I was going for the Charizard Master Sets and the non-perforated. Those were really tough to come across. And the ones that I think were graded, I don't think that I think they were actually cut out. I also had some action flips. Kind of cool to see these. I didn't pay a whole lot for binders like this, but to me, just seeing them is, I mean, it's really unique. Like, you don't find many sets like this, especially with the correct pages that go along with it. Had the art box at the end. I'm curious. One of these days, these might hold some pretty decent value. At least some of them in a tin if somebody tries to collect the set. You can get full uncut sheets of those. Now this is probably the biggest binder that I have. This next one with tops. But I'm going to show it to you because there's some good stuff in here. See if I can get it underneath. I think it's so big we're not going to be able to see the whole thing. Just because the binder itself is being blocked off by the frame of the desk. Let me see if I can get this in here a little bit better. See, right off the bat, we had some die cut cards, and these are stacked. I think there's like 3 Caterpie in there. But you go straight into Series 1. It's front and back, so you got duplicates of everything. Let's see if I can skip to it. So there's through Series 1. We also have Series 2. There was no Series 3, so it stopped at the Kangaskhan. Then you've got the TV cards, so those would come in the packs as well. And as you might expect, there are holo cards as well. And so if you look at this, this is a rainbow foil Charizard. You got both of those right there. And pretty decent shape. I mean, well, this one looks to have like a line on it, but it might just be some kind of like manufacturer defect. This one seems to be pretty good too. So, I mean, these are pretty tough cards to find in decent shape just because the rainbow foils, if they were left in the pack, then they're probably cracked when you go to pull them out. This one right here, this is not going to be series or the first print. I think this third print with the flames. I could be wrong. I can't remember fully. But a lot of these are going to be first print here in the beginning. You can see it does go into Series 2. Now, if you look at this Gengar, you can see where it does have some cracking along the foil. So maybe these were opened up a little bit later. Or it could have just been that way straight off, right off the rip, you know, once these were printed. But rainbow foil Gengars, you know, from Topps, pretty cool find. Then, of course, you had the same TV cards. And then we move into the next series, next print. And again, you have some more rainbow foils. So I believe this is series, or print 2 for Series 1. Only one Charizard there. See, they almost look lighter. But yeah, so you've got all of those. And this one did stop at Series 1. Had some of the TV cards here again. And then, of course, you got some more die cuts. Got some of the clear cards. These can bring decent money. Sometimes they grade good. Sometimes they're just pretty rough. Had some of these as well. Some of the uncut 3x3s. Check it out. That one had the box chrome Alakazam. But yeah, he did have chromes. And so the big chromes are gone. But still, Topps chrome cards are pretty cool to see. And as you can imagine, if you have this many chromes, you're probably going to have, we'll get to them here in a second, you're going to have some of these. So look, you got like a few Technos, lots of Spectras. And there are some sparkle chromes which stick out really well. There's some more of the Spectras. Same thing there. Some more sparkle. And so this was a really cool binder. Nothing like, I think the biggest, like the super high hit cards, they have been graded like from the chromes. But some of the regular holographic cards, like the Gengars and the Charizards, those are big hits. I don't know if they're actually gradable, but they still have some value to them, which is why I wanted to go ahead and just pick up the whole binder, and we'll see what we can do with it. All right, next up, we have some of these EX series binders. Now, I thought these were really cool. The way he did it, so he would have a piece of the box on the front, a piece of the box on the spine, and then a lot of them he would have a piece of the box on the back. But then inside, he would have, you got these cut pack wrappers. Then he would have pieces of the theme deck, the set list. Then you have like, the rule book, plus some of the counters. You can see he's got coins right here. And then he would have the set itself, where he would have the hollow, and then the reverse hollow, and then sometimes he would have duplicates to the side of that. But like these, you can tell, I mean, they were just pulled out of the pack, and then they were just set in the binder, and that was it. Like this one has one white dot down here, maybe one up here, but still a really nice looking card. I'm going to go through. I'll try to figure out which ones, might be worth grading. I know PSA is really tough on the 10s now, especially with the older stuff, but a lot of this is still going to be packed fresh. So if I can look up the value and, I see that there's, if I can break even at a 9, even with the increased prices, then, maybe it's worth it. And you can see he took out some of the better cards already and sent them probably to be graded, or, did something else with them. He sold them. But like, there's a Flareon. It looks pretty good. I would say, with that one white dot there, it's probably a 9. If it pulled an 8, still might break even after the grading fees. Maybe it'll do well. Who knows? But really nice pack fresh cards. Some of these, it's worth to take the risk on a lot of them, because if you pull the 10, then for whatever reason, the prices, they just go up a whole lot. And you can see with like Lugia, I mean, there's no reverse hollow there. I don't think I saw any Umbreons here. I did check these to make sure that the Pokeballs weren't upside down on the hollow pattern itself. But as you can see, I mean, it's got a good variety. A lot of cards in here. And it just kind of takes you back to, when you used to be able to just open up boxes, make the sets, and, just kind of fill it in. And he did have, like I said, white boxes full of cards like these that were like duplicates of the commons, uncommons, that kind of stuff. But I'm not sure where the package is. It hasn't been scanned since the 17th, so it's been over a week. And it shows that it never left the UPS in Las Vegas, which is unfortunate. Now we get to the end, and for the most part, there were no secret rares. But I'm showing this binder because this does, I guess, technically have some what you would call secret rares. Trying to move the camera just a little bit, because you have the unknowns. Now these aren't like super highly desirable, but they are harder to find. And you can see he had, it looks like, close to 2 sets of the secret rare unknowns. And so that was cool to see him at the end. And for a while there, those things, they were definitely not worth grading, but imagine so that they are now. All right, I'm going to show you guys one more binder. This one kind of eclipses a lot of the other e-reader binders that we do have, and WotC binders. You can see right there, Skyridge trading card game. So there's the side, there's the top, or one of the, I guess that was the bottom. Here's the top. And yes, it does have Skyridge on the inside. To me, I'm probably going to go through every one of these cards and figure out which one. So it should be graded, and then I'm gonna just go for it, even if they have if they're 7 quality. But Like this Arcanine, you know, pull it out. I mean, it's clean. Like you could tell it just come from a pack and it just went in here. It has an obvious white dot here in this top right corner, but other than that, it's a very clean card. And so I think that has a shot at a 9. Whether it gets it or not, who knows? But anyways, you can see he's got lots of the rares. You know, in some cases he has a few reverse holos, but then also like the Japanese non-holographic versions. Like I'm not sure what a non-holo Skyridge Gyarados goes for, but to me, like it's got to be worth the shot, right? Like you don't see collections like this very often. The Expedition binder, he did have one of those, and he also had Aquapolis. Did not have Legendary Collection. That would have been cool. But like the Aquapolis binder, I think that one was the most filled out because it actually had in the beginning some of the Japanese holographic cards. Didn't have any English holos. You can see, I mean, it's got a Moltres, both Magnetons. So I'm going to give these a shot. It does surprise me how like a lot of the reverse holos from the EX era and even Diamond and Pearl era, like they're so expensive compared to like some of these WotC reverse holos. I get how they can be lower pop, but at the same time, it was because nobody cared as much. I mean, like these WotC ones, people, they go for the sets. Like they try to complete master set and stuff. So maybe that'll change one day. I don't know. But these this was really cool to see, just to pull it out and to be flipping through the pages. You know, like as I'm coming up and I'm going past Girafarig, Gligar, Golbat, I'm thinking in my head, oh man, I hope there's a reverse holo Pikachu in here. You know, didn't have the Jigglypuff, but did have a Kadabra, so that's pretty cool. Reverse holo. He always put the reverse holos in the middle. So he doesn't have the Magikarp, doesn't have the Meowth, and there is no Pikachu. But look, I mean, there is one non-holographic Pikachu. I don't think it's going to get a 10. It's got a white dot right there, unfortunately. Still, really nice condition. And it goes all the way to the end. I mean, you get the idea of what he has here. A couple non-holos at most. Possibly a reverse holo, and then possibly a Japanese card. But a binder like this, even missing all of the biggest hits, even like the more rare forms of some of the more popular hits, like didn't have any Umbreons at all. I don't know if you guys saw that, but like all the Umbreons are pulled out. Obviously, it's like if you're going to be pulling out cards, like that would be something that you want to pull out. But it's got a couple of Vaporeons, you know, and so this still had a good bit of value to it. And it was really cool just seeing the binder in itself. And it was nice. It was a lot of fun just pulling this stuff out. But he had a lot more binders like this. And what's cool is there's still... Let me put this back on. There are still items that I haven't priced out. Some of the Japanese stuff that's Pokemon, or there's other languages as well. And then there was a whole tote of Yu-Gi-Oh! A lot of it was raw condition sets that he had started. And then there's an entire box of just nothing but sports, which I'm going to have to go through each individual card. But it was a lot of fun going through this collection. I had so much fun going through Gary's. He had a bedroom that was just like stuff was all over the place, but then his storage locker as well. The stuff that was in the storage locker I haven't priced out, but I'm going to make sure to show you guys some of the better stuff that I pull out of it. And like I said, I didn't show all of the binders here. Like I just showed Skyridge, but there was Aquapolis, there was Expedition, there was EX Dragon, Sandstorm, you know, all of these sets. And so they were very similar. They had a lot of cards in them that were just like some of the holos, some of the reverse holos, but none of the like super really like high-end cards that you would expect, like the Gold Stars or the EXs or anything like that, but still value. A lot of cool nostalgia that you pull from opening those binders up, seeing the box art, seeing the name, seeing possibly the theme decks and the pack wrappers. It was really well organized and had a lot of fun with it. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Like I said, I'll have another one that comes out hopefully soon. Just depends on how long it takes me to organize all this stuff. Thanks.